Hi, amazing viewers. Welcome to Christianity over Islam channel with Shamoun. And on this episode of this amazing debate, Sam is in an intense debate with a Muslim who got embarrassed on the topic of Allah, Jesus, and the lies of Muhammad. Let's watch this video as we get more details.
So I had some issues with what you were saying because
Did you hear all of it, or you just did a hit and run too?
no, I didn't hear all of it, but from what I heard is that you were again saying that Jesus is Allah.
I don't know what you mean by Allah.
My issue is that it's like you cannot like okay, so when you think of the Almighty Creator, you don't think of an entity that sleeps or uses the bathroom or has a wife and has a child in the sense that you and I have.
Okay.
So that's why you cannot say Jesus is the son. That's why you see in the Quran that Jesus is referred to Isa ibn Maryam.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that it's a miracle that Allah gave Maryam, a child, which was Isa, Messiah.
Yeah.
But we don't say he's the son of Allah because Allah can't have a son.
Why? Why can't he?
He can't because of what I just explained. You can't
What did you
give
explain?
him any human attributes.
That you only explained he can't have a human son because he's not a human being. But what makes you think that only humans can have sons? Why can't Allah have a son that's divine without Allah having to have sex with a woman?
This idea is completely rejected. We
Where?
don't want to associate. We
Where
don't
is
want
it
to
rejected,
associate
though?
any kind of partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah, but where is it rejected? You're saying rejected. Where does the Quran reject that Allah can have a son who's not human, who is divine, one with him, without Allah having to have sex with someone?
There is a verse in the Quran which refers to how can Allah have a son when he does not have any sort of
that's 6:101.
humanly partner.
Well, let me repeat that verse for you. In chapter 6, verse 101, it says, "Wonderful originator of the heaven and earth. How can he have a son seeing he has no consort?" Okay, you accept that logic?
Yeah, he has no consort is like
A partner, someone that
we
he
have.
has.
Yeah.
But you accept that logic?
So
I just want to make sure you accept that logic.
Allah cannot do stuff. I mean, Allah doesn't do stuff like you can't even put him on that.
So you do accept that logic. The reason why I'm telling you is that because Maryam, the mother of Jesus, said in chapter 3, verse 47, and in chapter 19, verse 20, she said the same thing. How can I have a son seeing I have known no man? But then it says, Allah said to her, it's easy for you. You can have a son without having a man to have sex. So why was it easy for Mary to have a son without sex, but your God can't have a son unless he has sex? That's chapter 3, verse 47 of the Quran, and chapter 19, verse 20. So how come Mary can have a son without having sex, but your God can't have a son
Well,
unless
these
he has
kind of
sex?
questions that you're asking are kind of outside the realm of what's in our scriptures.
But Mary
You know what I'm
answered the
saying?
way Allah answered.
This question that you're asking is not something that we can answer based off what we know from our scriptures and our scholars and stuff like that.
Okay.
So what I'm saying to you is that this is what our scholars have said, is that Allah cannot have a
Which scholars are you
son.
appealing to? Because not all Muslims are Sunni. You have your Shia scholars and so on. So when you say
So
scholars?
if you these verses in the Quran that you're quoting, people such as Ibn Kathir or Ibn Abbas, when they comment on those ayat, they will say that Allah can't have a son.
Okay, and I keep telling these Muslim scholars, the present, because they're dead in the past, I can't ask them. Why? Why can't he? I don't understand it. Just to say he can't doesn't tell me why he cannot. Because if the objection, because you mentioned chapter 6. Verse
So
9.
I can ask you something about Christianity,
Sure.
which no scholar has ever said
Okay.
or has ever. So
Ask
I
me.
can ask you a question. How can Jesus, come up from the dead? How can he do that? I can ask you that.
Because
and
God
you
is
can
life.
tell me what you believe.
No,
it is.
God is life.
You don't have any kind of, huh?
That's not equivalent, because God is life, and He has power over death. Death is something that's in the hands of God. But that actually makes my point. If God has power over death, where He can bring life out of death, why then are you saying He doesn't have power to have a son without having sex in order to have a son?
So you see, it says like having a son is sort of it's a humanly trait, and because we don't like to associate our Creator with having anything humanly.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the Quran denies that having a son is simply a human trait. The Quran actually acknowledges there are things that are said to be the mother of something or the offspring of something that are not human. For example, you should know this from your Quran. In chapter 43, verse 4 of the Quran, it says the Quran is in Kitab, Kitab, the mother of the book. And then if you go, that is with Allah. It says, if you go, don't take my word for it, open your Quran, because you can read the Arabic, chapter 43 of the Quran, verse 4, it says, this Quran is in Kitab, Kitab, the mother of the book, that is with us. And then in chapter 13, verse 39, chapter 13, verse 39, it says Allah.
13:39?
Yes, your mic blew my ears. There it says Allah can confirm or blot out whatever He so wishes, because with Him is Kitab, the mother of the book. It says that in both those verses. You can read Arabic and confirm. So if you're saying having a son is a human trait, how then can there be the mother of the book with Allah if having children is a human trait? Being a mother is a human trait. Being a father is a human trait.
Okay, so the mother of the book verse, can you repeat that verse again? I need to read it.
Okay, do you have your Quran with you so I can tell you where to go?
Yeah, I got my
okay,
computer.
Go to chapter 13, verse 39 first. Chapter 13, verse 39. That's the first one.
See, so if you go to Matthew 5:17, you would see that
we can talk about Matthew 5. What does that got to do with
you would be required to follow the law of the Old Testament.
You sure about that?
The thing is,
wait, why are you changing subject, Jihad? What happened? Go back to the mother of the thing. We'll go to Matthew 5, because that's not going to help you. Go to...
We're going to come to 13:39, but I was going to make my point. Okay. You come to a lot of things in Islam, which is outside the scope of what our scholars have mentioned. And the thing is, in Christianity, you don't have really any scholars that mention anything. You guys just say what it is that you believe.
I'm going to name you
some over time.
All right, well, I'm going to name some church fathers.
To the Catholic Church. But
yeah,
now we can
you're
go
talking
back
over
to
me.
1339.
Yeah, but before you go, hold on. Calm down, buddy. You're bringing too many issues. I'm going to tell you that's not true, because historically we've had theologians and scholars and martyrs who died as martyrs for Jesus. Have you heard of Ignatius? Do you know Ignatius?
No.
Clement of Rome? Have you heard of Clement of Rome?
No.
Polycarp?
I heard of John of Damascus.
Okay, that's after your prophet. Polycarp?
No, I don't know that about
so then,
this stuff.
Just like you don't like me to represent Islam or your scholars, don't talk about Christianity if you haven't studied. We have scholars whose writings are still with us, written in their language that we translate English, like Ibn Kathir wrote in Arabic. We have Irenaeus, who wrote in Greek, in English. We have what Ignatius wrote in Greek, translated in English. So let's keep the scholars aside. Let's just go to the Bible and the Quran, because I don't think you want to get into a discussion of your scholars, my scholars. Let's stick with something that's right in front of you, the Quran. In chapter 13, verse 39. What does it say?
Yeah, al-Kitab.
What does it say?
It says al-Kitab.
So the al-Kitab, the mother of the book, is with Allah, right? It's with him, right?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Okay, now go to another one. Chapter 43, verses 3 and 4 of the Quran. Chapter 43, verses 3 and 4 of the Quran. Chapter 43.
43.
And then read 3 and 4. The Quran is in what? The Quran is in what? It's in something. Tell me what is in. Excuse me.
Indeed, we have made it an Arabic Quran that you might understand.
Keep reading to 4. Don't stop.
إنا جعلنا قرآن عربيا تعلمون. Yeah, so it's in Arabic.
Keep going.
And indeed, it is in the mother of the book, with us exalted and full of wisdom.
So the Quran, it lives where? Where does it live? It's inside what?
وإلنا في وإلنا في الكتاب.
You got it or no?
Yeah, and indeed it is in the mother of the book. With
So
us
it's in the mother of the book, right? The Quran is in the mother of the book, right?
What are you driving at?
Okay,
here?
well, if you be patient, I'll get there, man. Just be patient, dude. So the Quran, you read it in Arabic, is in the mother of the book, right? So it comes out of the mother of the book, right? You're reading it right there, man. Right?
وَإِنَّ فِي الْكِتَابِ.
Fi, that's in. Fi. In. So it's in.
Fi, but it doesn't say the Quran is.
Yes, it is. Just
الكتاب.
what's before it? This is the Arabic Quran.
فِي
Okay, what's the inna
الكتاب.
fi? What is it referring to in verse 3, buddy? Come on, man. The Arabic Quran. It is in.
Okay.
All right, so do you agree with
Let's
me?
go back.
There's a mother of the book with Allah. And the Quran comes from that mother book.
The
And that
mother
Quran
of
comes
the
from the
book.
book, right? The mother of the book.
So this is so Allah revealed the Quran. He made it perfectly clear. So it's with him, but he gave it to us.
No, it didn't say with him.
Understand?
No. See, you mistranslated the verse in my presence. It didn't say it's with him. It says the mother of the book is with him, and the Quran is in that mother. It didn't say the Quran is with him. It said the mother of the book is with him, and the Quran is in that mother. It came out of that mother of the book. Did you read the verse?
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
So here we go.
Oh, good. So
I'm
you
gonna
said
go.
exactly right. Jihad, you said exactly. So
So
the
the
mother
mother
of the-
would have been the original Torah.
no, we're not talking about. Don't change the subject, dude. Talk
So
about the
when-
mother
when-
of the
when-
book.
When they changed the scriptures, the
Okay.
Jews and the Christians.
How can the Quran
They
have a
changed
mother,
the
Jihad? So you're changing the topic because you're scared. It's okay. I know you're scared. How can the Quran have a mother who's the daddy, Jihad?
Don't tell me I'm scared.
Okay, then answer the question. Who, if the Quran has a mommy, who's the daddy? Mommy is there. Where's daddy?
Look, man, you're really coming to the points now that have no significance. You're telling me who is the mother of the book.
Yeah.
From first sight, the way I see it, and you didn't even give me an opportunity to read the tafsir here, but
Oh, we gotta go to
based on my
tafsir.
interpretation,
We
this is
gotta go
kind of
to
referring
tafsir.
to the Quran sort of being the confirmation of what was revealed
Tafsir.
before.
So wait,
This is
you're
my
telling me
understanding.
you're telling me you can't understand the plain Arabic Quran, you have to go tafsir. But so whole point is, in heaven with Allah, there's the mother of the book. If there's a mother with Allah, it's the mother of the book, then how can the mother have offspring if it doesn't have a consort? If it's the mommy, there has to be a daddy. Otherwise, there's no mommy without daddy, right?
So this is a linguistic issue.
Linguistic issue.
So in Arabic, when you say al-Kitab, it's not a literal mother.
Not literal.
It's like in the Arabic language, they say like if I say this is, Abu, he's, I say Abu Asmar, like,
Asmar.
this guy is, he's really brown. He's Abu this. So we
Abu
don't
that.
we don't like, it's not like a literal.
Okay. So you're
mother.
saying you
Okay,
can
so
have.
this is a linguistic
All right,
issue. And I
linguistic.
think you know a little
All
bit
right,
of
hold on.
Arabic.
Well, let's come back to it.
So you would be able to know these linguistic nuances.
Okay, well, let's come back to it. You just proved my point. The mother of something, the father of something, or the son of something doesn't have to be physical, sexual. So you just admit my point. So why can't God have a son without it being sexual and physical? See, that's the point I'm making, and you're seeing the point when it comes to the mother of the book.
Well,
right.
That's a different story.
All right, well, let's go to Surah An-Nisa. Can we go to chapter 4 now?
Because we're referring to Allah, which is a different thing.
Well, it's a hard thing to say Allah because the mother is with Allah. How is it with Allah if Allah's not the daddy? It belongs to Allah. The mommy belongs to Allah. That means Allah's the daddy. So I just showed you Allah's consort. It's the mother of the book.
Because at the end of the day, we don't want to refer. So anything we talk about, like I just described these linguistic nuances, at the end of the day, we don't ascribe anything to Allah. What don't you understand about that?
I didn't ascribe anything. I'm just reading your Quran.
He's so exalted that we just leave him in a category by himself. We don't say he has a wife.
Good. Okay, I'm going to agree with you. Yeah. All right, now, when you say he's exalted, do you believe he's above the throne or is he on the throne? Is he on the arsh or is he above the arsh? Is he on the kursi or above the kursi? Is he on it or above it? Well, I don't know what you believe.
Okay, so this is
no, because you said he's exalted.
Which verse are you talking about now?
There's chapter 7 of the Quran, verse 54. Chapter 7, verse 54.
Chapter 7, verse 54.
Yeah, because I have a question about that. Where Allah is? You said because he said he's exalted.
It's a metaphorical.
Okay,
thing.
Well, some think it's actual throne, but I just want to know: do you think he's on it, above it? What does that mean?
No, because I heard many scholars say that like there's no such he's not sitting. There's no he's sitting on a no, that's not the case.
To some scholars that you follow, that maybe Ashari and Maturidi.
No, I think the consensus amongst the mainstream Muslim scholars are saying.
I can quote to you the Salafi, the ones who follow the Salaf Salih. They say he's above the throne in a manner suiting His Majesty, and we don't try to.
When you say the throne, it's like metaphorical as the earth is like. It's like he's above the earth. He's above everything in the world. He created it. It doesn't mean that there's an actual chair that he's sitting in. Okay. As you Christians,
all right. Well, I have a problem though.
CP, you don't know how many times I've heard CP come to this, and it's just ridiculous.
Jihad, my friend. If you're telling me it's a metaphor, then in chapter 69, verse 17, it says 8 angels.
But you just said chapter 7, so I was
hold
going
on,
to
dude.
the verse.
Hold on. You just said something. Be patient, dude. Just a little patience. You said the throne is a metaphor. In 69:17 of the Quran, it says 8 will carry the throne. 8 will be carrying the throne. 8 angels. What are they carrying if it's a metaphor? 69 verse 17 of the Quran. 69
so are you
verse
redirecting me to another verse now?
Because you just said, let me repeat, man, listen to yourself. You said
I heard what you just said, so I'm asking you, are you redirecting me?
Yeah, because I want to know, how is it a metaphor? What are the 8 angels carrying? A metaphor? 69:17. Read it.
I'll look.
So he's carrying a metaphor. The 8 angels are carrying a metaphor. They're not actually carrying a throne.
We're going to read the tafsir on that one too.
Okay, it's up to you, dude. If you want to go tafsir, it's up to you. But just read for me 69:17. So the Quran itself is not plain. You got to go to tafsir. Okay, 69:17. But read it for me. Just read what it says. How many carry the metaphorical throne? The throne that's not real. It's a metaphor. How many are carrying it? That metaphor. Let me know when you get there. Read it. Unless you want me to read it. What?
Hold on, I'm looking at it.
What the heck was that in the background, dude? Anyway, but go ahead.
This is
all right. Yeah, if you want me to read it, I'll read it for you. You can find tafsir because it's taking a long time to find it.
Alright guys, this is where this video gets more interesting. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so. Hit the notification button to be notified each time we post new video. let's get back to this video to find out more truth.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you read what you got.
Okay.
Whatever translation.
Well, I have a lot of them. I'll read Hilali Khan. And the angels will be on its sides, and 8 angels will that they bear the throne of your Lord above them. So they're going to carry the throne above them.
Eight angels.
That's
8 of them.
Yeah. Do you want me to add? I'm just going with the verse. I can't add to the verse.
يحملوا العرش ربك في Yeah.
Okay,
so are we going to the tafsir?
You wanted to. I'm asking if the arsh is not an actual throne, what are they carrying?
It's not clear. I mean, it's as I said, the arsh is metaphorical, so we need to.
So they're carrying a metaphorical throne. Okay.
We need further clarification at the end of the day. You know, I mean, we need tafsir.
All right. Okay.
Right?
Now here's my question for you. Then. Okay, since you don't throne, you do believe Allah is above His creation, then above the 7 heavens, above
Allah's
creation?
above His creation, but He's not sitting in a chair.
Okay, forget sitting on the chair. Okay. All right. He's not. Let's go with that. He's not sitting on the chair, but you do believe He's above His creation. Okay. Can you read for me Surah Ali Imran, chapter 3, verse 55? Chapter 3, verse 55 about Isa. If you can read that for me. La 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 la. La, la, la. Sorry, I had to just do that to loosen my throat because it's getting sore. I'm not young anymore. I used to be able to speak, but now I'm getting old. Anyway, 355. Yeah, I know you liked that, didn't you? Oh, man. Anyway, when you read 355, notice what Allah says to Isa, God says to Jesus in your Quran. Yeah. If you want, I'll read it. It's up to you.
I'm scrolling down, man. Give me a second.
Okay. I mean, I can read it too. You let me know that's up to you. You can read it. I'll read it. You can read Arabic. I'll read in English.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead and read it in English, and
okay.
I'm looking at it too.
All right, here it says. I can read anyway. I'll read Yusuf Ali. Behold, God said, "O Jesus, I will take thee and raise thee to myself. I will raise thee to myself." That's the part I wanted to focus on. And raise thee.
When Allah said, "Oh Jesus, indeed, I will take you and raise you to myself,
exactly,
and purify you."
Okay, myself, right? So Allah's going to take Jesus to who? Allah's taking Jesus to who?
He picked him up.
Yeah, but it says to myself. Who's myself?
Allah took him to heaven.
Did it say heaven or to myself? I'm reading the verse in front of my eyes. Allah, I will take you to myself. This is also in Surah Al-Nisa. So go to Surah Al-Nisa, chapter 4 of the Quran, verse 158.
To myself.
All right, so now what about 4:158? Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 158. Does it say the same thing? You want me to read in English? Chapter 4, verse 158, Surah An-Nisa. Same thing about Isa. They neither killed nor crucified him. But then it says, when you get there, chapter 4, verse 158, nay, but Allah took him unto himself. Allah is ever mighty wise. So Allah took him to himself. To himself.
You said verse 2, 158?
No, chapter 4, verse 158. Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 158. So I just read it. Nay, Allah took him to himself. Allah took Jesus to himself. And that's what 355 said.
Yeah.
I will take thee to myself, right?
Rather, Allah raised him to himself.
You got it, right?
Allah.
Okay.
So, Aziz and Hakim.
Okay, now your Quran just said, and I want you to hear it carefully. Your Quran just said in 2 places, Allah took Jesus to himself. I will take you to myself, took him to himself. But you just said Allah is above the creation. So now you just have to admit Jesus is with Allah above the creation because he's with Allah. Why is Jesus above the creation?
Because Allah took him up there to
So
save him
a
from
creature is above
dangerous-
creation. A creature is above
Huh?
creation. A creature is above creation.
Allahu A'lam. Allah is the
Allah.
creator. Jesus was sent. as
No,
a
that's
man.
not what I'm asking. If he's a creature, how can a creature be above creation? To say he's above creation means he's separate from creation. That doesn't work.
He's in heaven.
Didn't say heaven unless Allah's in heaven.
Allah does as He wills.
All right, so Allah will to take a creature above creation to be with him, making him his partner. But if you're a creature, you can't be above creation. To be a creature means you're part of creation. If you're above creation, that means you're separate from creation. So either Jesus is separate from creation or he's part of creation. If he's part of creation, he can't be above creation with Allah. Make up your mind.
I'm telling you, Jesus is in heaven with Allah.
But the Quran didn't
Because
say he's
that's
in
what the-
heaven. All right, can you go now to chapter 4?
Hey, my friend, do you go? Are you a literalist now? I mean, you don't understand,
No, I went by what you said. I said, where's Allah? You said above creation. Then Allah could have said, oh Isa, I'll take you to heaven. Couldn't Allah have said that? But he didn't say. He goes, oh Isa, I will take you to myself. I just went with what you said.
Allah is above the heavens and the earth,
And
therefore,
Jesus is
Allah
there.
Picked up Isa because when they tried to crucify him, somebody else was put in his place because Allah was not going to allow him to happen to him.
Okay, so
Okay, because
you
Allah
just
wouldn't
said,
want that for Isa alayhi salam.
good, but you just
So Allah
said,
wouldn't want that.
you just said Allah's above the heavens and the earth. So now Jesus is above the heavens and the earth. Excellent. I like that. Good.
No, I don't. Yeah. I mean, we don't have a clear explanation. We just know that he's picked up. We
Wow.
don't have.
So your Quran is a
you're
book of
talking about
confusion.
specifics here, like you're talking about, what is the location? Give me his latitude and longitude while you're at it. It's like you're. This is still faith at the end of the day.
So you're basically
Jesus.
telling the non-Muslims who are hearing, your Quran is a book of confusion because no one knows what it means. So instead of guiding me, it's confusing me. And this is what Allah wants me to follow, something that confuses me.
And this is semantics. You're getting too deep.
I'm getting too deep because I'm taking the words for what they say. I'm just reading the words and I'm taking it too deep.
Okay, so if I did that with the Bible, you're going to come with your whole spiel about, no, this is what it means. But that's going to be what you're saying, and it might not be affirmed by any so-called scholar of the past, if you have any. And there probably is not a consensus within the Christian community about it. So we have what our scholars say. And you're talking about, you're really getting into semantics to a whole nother level to where it's like, okay, how can we know? At the end of the day, it's Allahu A'lam. So,
Okay, all right. Okay, then let's go to chapter 4, verse 171 of the Quran. Chapter 4, verse 171. If you get
chapter
there.
4, verse
171.
what?
171. Ayah 171, because you know the Arabic, and I know you're going to know how to correctly translate this, unlike some translations, right? So 4171. Sorry,
Well, I told you. Well, I'm gonna.
I mean, you can read the Arabic. That's what I'm saying. You can read the Arabic. At least no one can deceive you. With
I have
a-
a strong basis in Arabic, but
Good.
I'm stronger in English, as I
All right.
told you.
That's fine. But at least enough where you know when someone's mistranslating, which is good. So if you're in 4171, let
And,
me know.
I don't like to delve into all these details. I mean, at the end of the day, we can keep Islam commands us to do good and forbid evil, to pray.
You want to talk about that?
To
You want-
pray.
So you want to talk about moral teaching of the Quran? Is that what you want to talk about now? We can do that. Because you're saying it commands to do good. We can talk about that.
You're the one who's bringing up the points, and I'm the one who's here to refute. So what are you?
Okay, so
claiming?
now you said Islam.
471.
Okay, you said Islam teaches good. Okay, so let's talk about morality of Islam because you follow Quran and Sunnah. Your prophet at one time, I'm not saying now, you're Sunni, so I know you don't do it now. But at one time, your prophet accepted Zawj al-Muta. Muta, right?
Yeah.
You're okay with that? Him doing muta?
At the time, it was accepted.
So now be honest with me, as a man who has respect, you have ghira, you have honor. How would you feel if you lived at that time? So understand what I'm saying. How would you feel if you lived at that time and one of the Muslims said, I want to marry your sister for 3 days, and then when I'm done, I'll divorce her and give her money? You honestly would be okay with that?
I don't believe that it was done in that context. I believe it was more of, when they were away from their wives.
Oh, so it's okay?
And they
They're
were-
away? So, okay. A Muslim from California is away from his wife, and you're living in Chicago. And he says, Ya akhi, I'm going to marry your sister for 3 days and give her money when I'm done because my wife is in California. Are you okay with that?
Well, at the end of the day, you have to consider it like this. Do you want to have unlawful sexual relations in the eyes of Allah? Or do you actually want to, if the Prophet said something and he's the highest moral authority. So if he permitted something at a certain time under certain circumstances, or it's not for us to really question that. We just follow him exactly as he says, and we obey him. So
you really think a God Almighty, who's all powerful, would legalize?
Hey, I'm giving it to you straight. Am I beating around the bush?
No, you're honest. Okay. All right. Okay, that's fine. All right. Okay, then you're saying if it's from Allah, okay, that's fine. Well, all right, then you can see why non-Muslims have a problem with it. But okay, now that you said, well, if it's from Allah, all right, fine. Okay, that's fine. Let me ask you this then. In chapter 4, verse 24 of the Quran.
I don't have an issue with it, but it's not something that at the time, so a lot of things about the Quran is it's descriptive. So there are certain things that you guys like to point to, and if I come with Numbers 31,
yeah, you're
gonna, that's that time. It's Moses had to do this.
No, that's not my answer. I wouldn't answer that way. I wouldn't answer that way, but that's okay. I wouldn't answer that. I can answer that very easily. I will, but that's not how we answer Numbers 31. But coming to this issue, Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4, verse 24, that you said, okay, Allah permitted it at that time, and that was legal, and I have no problem with it. But now the Shia, who say that their hadith still allows muta, it's not been abrogated. Do you then tell them, then you guys are committing zina because you're committing prostitution and trying to excuse it? Would you accuse them of committing zina?
Yeah, because it was said that after, so it was allowed for a certain period of time. Like when the Muslims, they went on expeditions and they were away from their wives, they were allowed to do it. But they could do it. They didn't have any wives at that time, and it was a different time and stuff like that.
Okay, so the Shia doing it today.
They needed to give a mahr, give a gift, give a dowry to marry a woman, and they could enjoy her in a marital way, and
you consider that marriage?
After some time,
the
marriage would be dissolved.
Okay, brother in humanity. Be
right
honest.
Now we don't permit that, and the Prophet didn't permit it when when the Muslims returned home and they're living amongst their community, for them to just do it with each other's daughters and stuff as a form of no. Marriage, of course, is meant to be a long-term thing.
Say it again. Marriage is meant to be what? Marriage is meant to be what?
I said by and large.
It should be a long-term thing.
It's meant to be a long-term thing.
Okay. Alright, welcome back, guys. I believe you were able to learn something watching this video. Let us know what you were able to learn in the comment section, and if you are yet to subscribe, please do so. Hit the notification button to be notified each time we post new and amazing content like this. And it is amazing the reason why people don't believe in Jesus, and one of the reasons why this guy does not believe in Jesus is because he believes God should not have any human attributes, and also that Allah having a son is absurd because he believes that for Allah to have a son, he must have to have sex before he can be able to have a son. And to me, this is where these guys are getting it wrong. You can't limit God by the limitations of your own mind. If you say God is all powerful, then that God should be able to have the ability to do whatever he wants and how he pleases. I think the problem is that we try to think and decide for God. If you're saying that a God is all powerful, that he can do all things by himself, then that God should have that ability to do whatever he wants to do at all time as he pleases. If you're saying that God is a creator, then he should be able to create something out of nothing. And also, what many Muslim folks don't know is that Sam has studied wide when it comes to the issue of religion. When I say religion, I don't just mean Christianity and Islam, I mean the whole scope of religion. He has studied so wide. So, if you lie, Sam will always know, and that is why he tried to embarrass them by insulting their prophet, because he knows that they don't like people insulting their prophet. He doing that is to curtail their lies and for them to stop reading meanings into their Quran and read it for the context for which the Quran was or is speaking from. If you're saying a creator is greater than his creation, and at the same time your Quran told you that Allah took Jesus to himself, meaning Jesus is seated at the same position where Allah is seated, that means that Allah has raised him above creation, and at that point it makes Jesus equal with Allah and make Jesus a God for him to be above Allah's creation. And it is a tough job defending Islam, and I believe this guy was schooled by some Shamoun as he got to learn new things about his religion. Guys, let's know what you think about this video in the comment section. Do well to subscribe and also like this video, share it with your friends, hit the notification button to be notified each time we post new and amazing videos like this. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video.